If your portfolio doesn't pay you while you sleep, you're doing it wrong. Today, we'll show you how you can turn $10,000 into a paycheck. No day trading required. Imagine money that pays its owner every single month without lifting a finger. At first, it sounds like a dream. But through dividend-paying stocks like Altria, Chevron, and Coca-Cola, it's very real. And if you stay until the end of this video, you will see exactly how $10,000 can turn into something much more substantial. So, what exactly makes dividend investing so powerful? You're about to learn how some of the world's biggest companies, such as Coca-Cola, Chevron, and Altria, quietly reward their shareholders every single quarter. You'll also see how ETFs like SCHD can make it even simpler. By the end, you won't just understand dividends, you'll see how investors transform them into a lifetime cash machine. The only question is, who wouldn't want money working harder than they do? And if you want to learn more about making your money grow, explained simply, don't forget to subscribe and like. We provide fresh content a few times per week. Dividends might sound complicated, but at their core, they're simple. A dividend is just a cash payout that a company gives its shareholders. Basically, a reward for owning part of the business. If someone owns shares of Coca-Cola, every quarter, Coke sends them a little piece of its profits. But there is something that makes this concept interesting. Not all companies that pay dividends are the same. You need to understand two key concepts when it comes to choosing a company that pays dividends: dividend yield and dividend growth. But don't worry, here's a simple explanation. Dividend yield is the percentage return compared to the stock price. For example, if a $100 stock pays $3 annually, that represents a 3% yield. Dividend growth, on the other hand, is about how much the company raises its dividend over time, measured by compounded annual growth rate, or CAGR. A modest 2% yield that grows 8% annually can beat a stagnant 3.5% yield in just a few years. That's why chasing only high yields can be dangerous. Often, when a stock flashes a 9% or 10% dividend, it could be a warning sign. Maybe the company is struggling and the payout isn't sustainable. Want additional dividend magic? Our good friend compounding delivers it. All you have to do is reinvest your dividends. When dividends are reinvested, that money is used to buy more shares. And those new shares start paying dividends too. Over time, it snowballs, turning small, steady payouts into serious wealth. So let's see what this looks like with real companies that have mastered the art of rewarding shareholders year after year. These aren't speculative startups or meme stocks. They are called Dividend Aristocrats, companies that have consistently increased their dividend payouts for decades. Think of them as the old money of the stock market. Steady, disciplined, and focused on rewarding investors. Take Coca-Cola, for example. Coca-Cola has increased its dividend for 63 consecutive years. That means through wars, recessions, and even the 2008 financial crisis, Coke kept paying and even raising its dividend. Today, for every $100 invested, Coca-Cola pays roughly $3.25 annually. That may sound small, but when you factor in dividend growth and compounding year after year, the wealth effect becomes powerful. Next, let's look at Chevron, the oil giant. Chevron has raised its dividend for 38 straight years. Chevron, as a large, diversified energy business, can pay more than Coca-Cola. On $100 invested, you'd collect about $4 annually, almost 25% more than Coke. Finally, how about Altria? Altria is the tobacco company behind Marlboro. While controversial, Altria is a dividend machine with 55 consecutive years of dividend growth. On $100 invested, Altria pays around $8.50 annually, more than double Chevron and nearly triple Coca-Cola. So what happens when you build a small portfolio using these three? Let's say you put $4,000 in Altria, $3,000 in Chevron, and $3,000 in Coca-Cola. That's a total of $10,000 invested. Based on current yields, this portfolio would generate just shy of $560 per year in dividends. Broken down, that's almost $50 per month. And when you factor in dividend growth, compounding, and time, that can really have a positive effect on your wealth. The lesson here? These companies won't make you rich overnight, but what they offer is reliability. They've proven, decade after decade, that they reward patient investors with cash flow. And when those dividends are reinvested, the snowball quietly gets bigger every year. But what if you don't want to pick individual companies? What if you feel like putting your dividend eggs in 1, 2, or even 3 baskets is too risky? That's where dividend ETFs step in. ETF is short for Exchange Traded Fund. An ETF is simply an investment fund that hold a basket of financial assets, such as stocks and bonds. And an ETF trades on a stock exchange like an individual stock. Some investors don't want to pick individual stocks, but still want dividends working for them, and that's where an ETF can shine. Enter the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, also known as SCHD, a low-cost, diversified way to own a basket of high-quality, dividend-paying companies. SCHD delivers a yield of around 3.8%. More importantly, its dividends have grown at roughly 11% annually over the last 10 years, making it a standout for steady wealth growth. And remember, you are buying an asset traded on an exchange. That asset can go up or down in value over time. So you are not only earning the dividends from your stock or ETF, but you also have the advantage of any price increase while you hold the asset. For example, the S&P 500 has returned around 11% per year over the last 10 years. So over the long term, you can expect price appreciation. Also, remember, stocks or ETFs pay out dividends at different times. They can pay dividends monthly, quarterly, or even annually. Coca-Cola, Chevron, Altria, and SCHD all pay out quarterly. So let's see how this would have actually played out if you had invested $10,000 in dividend-yielding assets 10 years ago. If you invested $10,000 in SCHD 10 years ago, reinvested your dividends, and adding in actual price gains, you would have about $28,500 today. Stretch that to 20 or 30 years, and the exponential growth becomes clear. Now, what if you had invested $4,000 in Altria and $3,000 each in Chevron and Coca-Cola 10 years ago? Today, with reinvested dividends and actual price gains, you'd have just under $39,000. That's a compounded annual growth rate of about 14.6%, beating the S&P 500. Although the 3-stock portfolio outgained SCHD over the last 10 years, SCHD's return is impressive, and SCHD is more diversified, lowering your risk. You also don't need to pick individual stocks. Picking individual stocks versus ETFs is a trade-off like everything else in life. One other thing to remember about an ETF, it's always smart to monitor the basket of stocks an ETF holds. For instance, SCHD's annual rebalancing nearly doubled its exposure to energy stocks from 12% to 21%. That increases income potential but comes with added volatility tied to commodity cycles. Still, SCHD offers a powerful, all-in-one dividend solution, one that balances yield, growth, price appreciation, and simplicity, making it a compelling choice for long-term investors who don't want to pick individual stocks. Let's also look at how important our friend compounding is when it comes to building wealth through dividends. Take a simple example. An investor puts $10,000 into a portfolio that yields 3% in dividends with 8% annual dividend growth, and it matches the S&P's historical price appreciation of 11% per year. If the dividends are taken out as cash every year, the result is predictable but limited. The portfolio grows linearly to about $28,000 in 10 years, and you would have had roughly an extra $430 per year to spend. But if those dividends are reinvested, something remarkable happens. Over 10 years, that same $10,000 can grow to over $43,000. And over 20 or 30 years, much more. That's the power of compounding. Each reinvested dividend buys more shares, which in turn generate more dividends, which buy even more shares. The cycle feeds itself, creating exponential growth. A good way to imagine it is like planting a money tree. If you keep cutting off the branches too early, it never grows tall. But if you let it stand, it produces more fruit every season, and those fruits eventually grow into new trees themselves. Patience and reinvestment are what makes small seeds grow into towering forests of wealth. Of course, even with such potential, investors need to avoid common mistakes. Chasing stocks with ultra-high yields may look attractive, but those payouts are often unsustainable, and a sudden dividend cut can shrink returns and damage confidence. This is why many stick with Dividend Aristocrats, companies with long track records of increasing payouts, or strong, low-cost ETFs that spread risk across multiple assets. Another key is reinvesting the dividends. Pulling your dividends out too early undermines the compounding effect. And costs also matter. High-fee ETFs can quietly eat into returns over time. The real takeaway is simple. Dividends and compounding together create what is essentially a financial freedom machine. Think about it. $10,000 may look small today, but given enough time, it doesn't just grow. It snowballs into something far greater than what you first imagined. The trick isn't luck or timing, it's patience. Dividends plus compounding quietly reward those who stay consistent, who keep reinvesting, and who don't panic at every market dip. It doesn't care how smart you are, how many degrees you have, or how perfectly you can analyze a chart. It only cares about how disciplined you are and how long you stay in the game. So the real question is, are you willing to let time do the heavy lifting? And that's how dividends can help you build wealth. If you liked this video, please give a thumbs up, and if you'd like to learn more about topics to help you grow your wealth, subscribe to our channel. You don't want to miss what's coming next because every week we demystify topics that help you be smarter with your money. Spend less of it, make more of it, watch it grow. Don't forget to click on the bell icon so you don't miss any videos and get notifications on time. And don't hesitate to give suggestions for our videos. See you at the next one.